Hello everyone, this is Calvin Castine. We're at South Acres Field in Plattsburgh. We're here on this Wednesday. I keep forgetting what day of the week it is. August 12th, 1987. All the days start to look alike when you're out taping every night. Opening round playoffs in the Gentlemen's Slow Pitch League. Tonight, Barcomb's TV will be hosting the Mold Rite Plastics Club. Barcomb's finished 4th place in the regular season, Mold Rite in 12th. It's a best of 3 series. Ball 1. Leading off for Mold Rite, we have John Bushy, the third baseman. Ball 2, umpiring behind the plate, Richard Mad Dog Castine. Not sure who's on the bases. Ball. 3-0. Strike 1. 3-1. Nice grab at second by Todd Underwood. We have 1 down. Well hit ball by Bushy, but Underwood was there. And Powell Titherington, the second baseman, will step in now.
One infield. Make the level now. Lefty. Lot of room in the middle, Danny. Lot of room in the middle.
Pitching for Barcombs this evening, Joey Trombley lined. Underwood just stood there and took that one. 2 outs. Joey Trombley, the pitcher behind the plate, Steve Southwick. Batter now, left center fielder Pat McCarthy. Pitch on the ground. Hawksby to first. In time, nice pickup by Yakey. Good backhanded play by Dale Hawksby at short. He fired to Dan Yakey at first. So nothing across for Mold Rite. We go to the bottom of the first with no score in the game. Dale Hawksby, the shortstop, will lead things off for Barcombs in the bottom half of the first. Defensively for Mold Rite, we have Alan Passano pitching behind the plate. Kevin Patterson at first base. Ray Ruffin, second base. Paul Titherington, shortstop Danny Bushy, third base John Bushy. Left field Pat McGinn, left center field Pat McCarthy. Right center field Gary Titherington, right field Jeff Titherington. Dale Hawksby wastes little time with a leadoff single on the first pitch to get the ball rolling for Barcombs. This will bring up team manager Bill Bayshore. Strike 1. Second for 1 to throw to first, not in time. Now bring up Jerry Davison, the third baseman. 1 out, runner at first. Ball 1. Strike. Well hit ball to left center. McCarthy grabs, Bayshore tags, throw to second. He's out at second. Oh, Bayshore ran into the tag, and we have nothing across for Barcombs as we go to the second inning with no score in the ball game. Left fielder Pat McGinn leading off the second inning for Mold Rite. Strike 1 from Trombley. As we said, Trombley pitching, Southwick behind the plate. There's a base hit to left field. At first base for Barcomb's Dan Yakey. Second base, Todd Underwood. Shortstop, Dale Hawksby. Third base, Jerry Davison. And left field, Bill Bayshore. Left center field, Randy Barcomb. Right center field, Denny Laporte. And right field, Tim Galwett. On the bench, we have Tracy Boris, Dean Lombard, and Jim Barcomb. One of them is an extra player tonight. Strike one. Batter is Alex Desatel. On the ground, bat hop over Davison's head at third. Bayshore tosses it in. And Moldwright has a couple of runners on with nobody out, and shortstop Danny Bushy stepping in. Pitch from Trombley, strike one. Nice pickup by Trombley, looking for two, he goes to second. He was thinking two, but the ball hit up the middle, both fielders were going for the ball. It took him a little time to get over to cover the bag. So, runners at the corners, and Gary Titherington, the batter. Runners at the corners with one out. Trombley's pitch, strike one. Base hit. Bayshore gets it to the cutoff, and Moldwright scores first in the ball game. They lead 1-0 with one out. Runners at first and second. And the batter, Kevin Patterson, the catcher. He looks at strike one. Ball. Swung on, hit to left field, base hit. Bayshore fires it in. Southwick cuts it off at the end. It was the last hope. Bases loaded with one out. And Jeff Titherington, the right fielder, steps in. Swings at the first offering. Jerry Davison over in foul territory. And it's strike one.
Dan, what are you doing? You're going. Here, you coming to me? Go down, let's get two. Come to me, get that side out. Here, you're listening. There it is. Here, in. Give it a shot, Bill.
Bill Bayshore squeezes it.
Stand up. Come on, Gary.
Throw got away at third. The way the throw was intended to go to third base, a little high. It got away and allowed both runners to move up in addition to the run scoring. So it's 2-0. Runners at second and third, and Ray Ruffin, the first baseman. Ruffin looks at ball one. Strike one.
Nice double swing, Ray. Okay, Red, come on in.
That'll be the final out. However, Moldwright picks up 2 runs in the top of the second. We go to the bottom of the inning with Moldwright leading Barcomb's 2-0. Denny Laporte will lead off the bottom of the second for Barcomb's. Pitch from Passano. Strike one.
You like it sticking now, let's go.
Hard hit through the left side. It'll be a base hit for Laporte. And we have a leadoff single. Let's bring up left center fielder Randy Barcomb.
hard. Hit it hard. Let's go.
A little deep, ball one. Strike one. Sparse, I guess, is the word we'd use for the crowd tonight. Not much excitement fan-wise in the early round of the playoffs. The back-to-back singles here for Barcombs, and you have the tying run at first with nobody out. And first baseman Dan Yakey stepping in. I asked the Barcombs team to please keep the score close, make this game interesting. With tongue-in-cheek, they all agreed that they would do the best they can to keep the score down. Ball one. One out. Runners stay put. And the extra player, Jim Barcomb, will step in now.
Come on, Jim. Keep sticking the ball hard, bud. Keep sticking the ball hard. Let's go. Stop it, Jake.
Joey Trombley on deck. One out. Runners at first and second. 2-0 to score. Bottom of the second inning. Mold Rite leading Barcomb's TV. Opening rounds of the playoffs. It's through. It's short. Laporte is going to lumber his way in. And it's a 2-1 ball game. I guess we'll call that a base hit for Barcomb. And it brings up Joey Trombley and Tim Gowett moving into the on-deck circle. The tying run at second, lead run at first.
Wrap, Jimmy.
One out. And keeping the mat and the plate clean. Doesn't have a broom, however. He's umpiring here tonight because the umpires, regular league umpires, are on strike. Ball one. One ball, no strikes. Off the end of the bat. Go to first, and there are 2 outs.
That's the way to move and go. Good turn, Jimmy. You have to queue up first.
You have to hit it right in the end. Right on the tip of the bat, like a pool shot. Somebody on the bench said he should have queued up before, put some chalk on the bat. Tim Gowett, the batter, Todd Underwood on deck. 2 outs. Tying run at second. At third. Lead run at second. Strike one to Gowett. Goes the opposite way. Nice catch in right field by the little right fielder, Jeff Titherington. No Barcombs pick up a run, and we go now to the third inning with Mold Rite leading Barcombs 2-1. The pitcher, Alan Passano, swings at the first pitch. Picked up by Hawksby to first in time. Nice play by Hawksby. Going deep in the hole behind second to get Passano by a step. Top of the order now, John Bushy, the third baseman, will step in. It's a 3-person job over there keeping score for Mold Rite. Ball one, Bushy. Ball two. Strike one. Ball three. 3-1. Up the middle, that's a base hit. And the batter will be Paul Titherington, the second baseman. Bats from the left side.
Come on, infield, no now. You lost time, Todd. Here we go now, guys. Here we go now.
Trombley's pitch, strike one. Popped up.
Watch the tag, watch the tag.
Drops in, foul ball. Yakey overran it. Tough angle. Very tough play, those type of pop-ups.
Go now, Joey. Come on, Joey. Maybe work a little bit here now.
On the ground, off Trombley's glove. Underwood goes to second, to first. Yes! Beautiful play all around. Deflected off Trombley's glove. Todd Underwood picked it up, fired it to Hawksby covering. He fired to Yakey, who pulled it down to the ground to turn a double play. Beautiful play. It was 1, 4, 6, 3. And we go now to the bottom of the third with the score. Mold Rite 2, Barcomb's 1. Second baseman Todd Underwood lead off the bottom of the third. On deck, Steve Southwick with the top of the order to follow. And a pitch from Passano. Strike one. Nice grab at third by Bushy. That's John Bushy at third base. Nice grab off Underwood's bat. Coming up the right, or is he catcher? The catcher tonight, Steve Southwick. See him in right field a lot, and I thought he was the right fielder tonight, but he's the catcher. On the ground, up the middle, that's through. Southwick rounds and thinks about second, but he'll stay put. A one out single, and a batter, Dale Hawksby, the shortstop. Two on the score, bottom of the third. Opening round. The Gentlemen's Slow Pitch League playoffs. Barcomb's the number 4 team against Mold Rite Plastics, the number 12 club. K&L received the first round bye. There are 15 teams in the league. So 2 plays 15, 3 plays 14, 4 plays. Whoops, this must be the 13th place team. Yep, this is the 13th best team in the league. Mold Rite. I put them up a notch higher than they really were. 3-1. Two down. Taken in left field by McGinn. And Bill Bayshore, the batter. This is Barcomb's second year in the playoff, in the Gentlemen's League, and the second time they finished in the 4th seeded spot.
Come on, let's go, let's get up!
Last season, Beaumont was 3rd regular season, and Barcomb's 4th. This year, Beaumont became the K&L. They were 1st, and Barcomb's is 4th. So the two former Lake Champlain clubs doing well. The 3rd Lake Champlain club in the league, newcomer this year, Latchmore's Insurance, formerly Harbeck or Beaumont Pro Shop last year. Harbeck Feeds before that. They finished sort of in the middle of the pack, but they had a much better record than what they ended up with. They forfeited about 8 games. Popped up. Strike 3. Foul ball on the 3rd strike. It's an automatic out. So Bayshore goes out on A foul ball, and we go now to the 4th inning with the score holding at Rite 2, Barcomb's 1. As I was saying about Latrimores, they forfeited about 8 games. They had a player on their roster, Rick Lamberton, that they had forgot to turn in to the league officials. And it was picked up upon. And they forfeited about 8 games, and they still came up with 8 or 9 wins. So they had all in all a very good season. But they finished with about 8 or 9 wins in the 30 games that the league plays instead of 17 or 18 wins. Leadoff single here for Pat McCarthy, the left center fielder. Brings up Pat McGinn, the left fielder. Strike 1. Ball 1. 1-1. Let's get a wave and a hello from Donald Soupy Supernaw. There's a base hit. Soupy roaming the streets here in Plattsburgh. Don't know what he's doing out so late at night. It's almost 10. Alex Desitel, the extra player. With runners at first and second and nobody out. He looks at strike 1. Right field. Tim Gallett hustles it in. We have 1 out. And Danny Bushy, the shortstop, will be up. Very strange aroma here at the ballpark tonight. Strike 1. Not quite sure what it is. A nice grab by Trombley. A bullet back to the pitcher. They checked the runners and they were both back in time. Gary Titherington, the batter now with 2 outs. We're in South Plattsburgh here, so I'm not quite sure. A long way from the sewer system. I'm not sure. Sewer treatment plant. I'm not sure what the smell is. Underwood calling in back a second. He'll grab it. Nothing across after getting the first 2 runners on. Nothing across from Rite. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Our score holding Rite 2, Barcomb's 1. Jerry Davison will lead things off in the 4th for Barcombs. They're trailing by 1. Starting to cool off considerably here as we approach 10 o'clock after a beautiful day in the 70s. Temperature starting to cool down here in the North Country on this August 12th. Apparently have a new catcher in the ball game. I haven't gotten his name from Rite. We'll try to get that between innings next time. I guess they're passing the word around with the scorebooks. And a pitch to Davison. Way deep, ball 1. Passano's delivery, swung on, base hit. And we have a lead runner on for Barcomb's potential tying run, and the batter, Denny Laporte, the right center fielder. Ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Drops in. Should send Davison to third. There's the throw. Safe. That was a good throw. A perfect throw would have had him. And on the throw to third, Laporte goes to second. So with nobody out, we have runners at second and third. Potential lead run at second base for Barcombs. And left center fielder Randy Barcomb stepping in.
Come on, Red. Come on, Red.
Bottom of the fourth inning.
Everybody hits this inning.
Strike one.
You don't want that one. You don't want that one. Come on, Randy. You do too, Randy. Come on.
Popped up. Foul ball.
Come on, Randy. Come on, Randy. Come on, Randy. Come on, RB. Steve. Get up in there, guys. Let's go. Come on, Red. Come on, Red. Come on. Nobody.
0-2 the count. First ball was in there. Barcomb looked at it. That one he fouled off. So no balls, 2 strikes. Passing nose pitch. Popped up. Barcomb will be out. In the parking lot. And Dan Yakey, the batter now. First baseman, 1 out. Runners at second and third.
Let's hear a little liveliness in there, guys. On the money, on the money.
Ball 1. Ball 2. Strike. 2-1. Off his glove. That would have scored Davison anyway, but that's going to score Laporte. And the Yankees going to go all the way into third. So a big error out there in right center field. Yankee at third with 1 out. And it's a 3-2 ball game. Barcomb's leading. And Jim Barcomb the batter. I assume my microphone is picking up the sound of the Jets, and they just shut their engines off. They were rolling over our heads, and all of a sudden it was silence. On the ground, a third. Yakey talked Bushy into letting Jim Barcomb on. Third baseman John Bushy worried about the runner. Yakey got just far enough off that he could get back, and Bushy ended up not throwing it, so Barcomb reaches on a fielder's choice. And Joey Trombley, the batter, here with 1 out. Runners at the corners. Strike 1. Fair ball. I'll make it 4-2. And Jim Barcomb will stop at second, and Joey Trombley an RBI single. Batter Tim Gowett. Still only 1 out. Outside for a ball. The moon starting to rise here. Coming up late this evening. It's 9:56 at the moment. Up the middle. Barcomb scores. Trombley goes to third. Ball's misplayed in center field, and Gowett gets to second. So Gowett drives in another run. Now we have runners at second and third for Barcombs. Todd Underwood the batter. It's about a 5-2 game now, I believe.
Keep rolling, Red.
Ball one. Trombley in there just in time. Umpire a little bit out of position to call that. Scores another run. Makes it about 6-2. And a batter, Steve Southwick, the catcher. Gowett on third now. 2 outs. Ball one. Ball. 2-0. Dean Lombard warming up over to the side of us. Comebacker to Passano. He'll go to first. And that'll be it for Barcombs in the 5th inning. We go now, in the 4th inning, we go now to the 5th. With Barcombs leading. Soupy over here reminding everyone at the ball game that his club will be appearing at, his team will be, his team is group, I'm thinking sports here, his group Old Friends will be appearing at Beaumont Lanes on the weekend of the 15th of August, 1987. Batter Myhall, a new catcher, as we're in the 5th inning with Barcombs leading 6-2. Too much art. Lombard in pitching for Barcombs. Liner to Hawksby. And we have 1 out. And a batter, Jeff Titherington, the right fielder. And a pitch. On the ground to Yakey. He bobbles. Safe at first. Yakey should have taken it himself. Lombard a little slow getting over there. Yakey saw Lombard was coming, so he decided to let Lombard handle it, tossed it to Lombard, and the runner is safe on a close play. It's 6-2 here in the 5th inning, and Ray Ruffin, the first baseman, steps in with 1 out. Strike 1. Ball. Popped up. Southwick with a catch. Titherington. No reason in the world to be way down at second base on that. If it landed, it would have been a foul ball. No excuse at all. We go now to the bottom of the fifth with the score 6-2. Barcomb's leading Rite. Top of the order for Barcomb, Dale Hawksby, to be followed by Bill Bayshore. And the bottom of the fifth inning. Strike one. Strike two. No balls, 2 strikes to Hawksby. Up the middle, base hit. Dale Hawksby retreats to first. And Bill Bayshore steps in with Jerry Davison moving on deck.
Start of an inning, start of the game now. Come on, Bill. Come on, Billy. Come on, Billy. Rip it, don't poke it. Rip it, don't poke it now.
Bayshore reaches. Featherington misjudged that. Had time to catch up with it. Dropped in front of him. Up Jerry Davison with Denny Laporte moving in to the on-deck circle.
Inside out. Now. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Jerry.
Ball one. Up the middle. And it gets through. It's going to be 4 bases for Davison. Hawksby scores, Bayshore scores, and Jerry Davison with a home run. Well, that speed, once it gets through, it's all over. 3 runs here, the first 3 batters. So it's 9-2. Now Barcomb's had promised to keep this game close. Looks like they're reneging on that. And Denny Laporte, the batter. Featherington, the right fielder, coming in to the bench. I'm making changes out there. I don't know who's playing where. First pitch to Laporte, strike one. Deep at the fence, it's over. Home. No, it's on this side. I think Laporte thought it was over too. Here's the throw in the third. He's going to be in there. The ball gets away. Looked like it was going to go at first, and when it went over the outfielder's glove, I thought it was over the fence. But apparently there was still more room for the fielder out there. So Laporte has a triple, and Randy Barcomb, the batter. Barcomb's will have to move the score to 17-2 to get it over with here in the 5th inning with the 15-run rule. They lead at the moment 9-2 with nobody out. To left field, deep enough to make it 10. We'll see if Laporte's going to go. He's going to hold. With nobody out, he stayed put. brings up Dan Yakey. Strike one.
Get into one.
Up the middle is a base hit. Yakey drives in run number 10 with a single. One out. And Jim Barcomb, the batter. 10-2.
Come on, Jim. Come on, Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy. Shot.
Nice catch at second. Yakey back. Nice drive by Barcomb, but it was grabbed at second by Paul Titherington, and now we're going to Dean Lombard batting for the first time. Came in to pitch, replacing Trombley. Strike one. Ball one. That's a fair ball. Yakey's going to go into third. And Lombard with a base hit. And Tim Gallett, the batter. 10-2 the score. Pitch from Passano. Gallett looks at strike one. Todd Underwood on deck. That was caught. Not very pretty, but it's an out. And we go now to the 6th inning with Barcomb's leading 10-2 over Mold Rite Plastics. Umpire tonight from the Mr. Sub team here, helping Mad Dog, Rich McCord. And of course, Mad Dog cast iron on the bases, on the plate, I should say. Alan Passano, the pitcher, will lead off the 6th inning. His team trailing by 8, strike one. Mold Rite has to score a few runs to make this game interesting again. And somehow I don't feel they will. As I said, they had the 13th best record in the league. Which is the 3rd worst record in the league. Only 2 teams were lower than them. Infield pop. Dale Hawksby grabs it. Batter John Bushy now. One out. Pitch from Lombard. Strike. Let's see, Danny Laporte is on the bench. And I believe Randy Barcomb has moved on the bench. Goes from Lombard to Yakey. So let's see, Tracy Boris is in right field. Looks like Jim Barcomb in right center, Steve Southwick in left center, and Bayshore is still at left field, and Tim Gellett behind the plate. So some changes defensively for Barcombs. Strike one, the batter, Paul Titherington, the second baseman. Tonight's umpires donating their time. But the league umpires on strike somehow. Bob Hall set the precedent. League President Bob Hall set the precedent of not charging. So these guys here, Mad Dog, the league vice president. McCord plays on the Mr. Sub team, which is run by Dick Perry, the league secretary treasurer. Perry's got a back injury of some sort and he's unable to umpire, so McCord is covering for his teammate. Titherington reaches. Pat McCarthy, the left center fielder, steps in now. So umpires are donating their time on a chilly August evening. Umpires are on strike. They wanted the power to foul ball. If they threw somebody out of the game, they wanted the people to be out for 2 extra games besides that, regardless of the reason. So whatever reason they threw somebody out of a ball game, they would rest for 2 more. And somehow the league officials don't quite agree that that's the correct way to go. So a little power play, it appears like. Al Rose called a strike without really calling for a league meeting. He just went out on strike, wrote a letter, went out on strike, said this is the way we want it, and we're not going to umpire until it changes. This is Pat McGinn, the left fielder. Underwood to Hawksby, and that's going to be it for the top of the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning with the score holding at Barcomb's 10, Old Rite 2.
Let's go hit again. Let's go hit again. Come on.
Todd Underwood, the batter, second baseman. Leading off the bottom of the 6th. Foul ball. Strike one. Orville Trombley pays me a quarter every time I get him on TV. No balls, 1 strike. Well hit. A leadoff double for Todd Underwood.
Give him a close-up, Calvin. Give him a close-up.
His first hit of the 1987 season. He was 0 for 87.
Tell everybody out there, TV land, that's the only time they might see him.
I'll mark it on your calendar. First hit of 1987 came at 10:20 on August the 12th in the first game of the playoffs. Steve Southwick, the batter. So if Underwood is hitless for 87 and Southwick is batting in back of him, Steve must really be having a bad year. Strike one.
Need more. Little insurance, fellas.
There's a base hit that gets away. Underwood's going to score. Southwick's going to be held up at second. He was thinking 3. At top of the order now, Dale Hawksby, Laporte saying we ought to give Southwick a map so you know how to get to third base. Guess he's never been on second before. Ball one. 11-2 is the score. Ball. 2-0. Ball 3. 3-0.
They average like 70 some odd.
Ball 4. Hawksby draws a walk, much to his regret. Runners at first and second with nobody out, 11-2. Barcombs need 6 more runs to call it a game. With the 15-run rule, a 17-2 lead would do it. Bill Bayshore, the batter. We're on the bottom of the 6th with nobody out. Inside, ball 1 from Passano. Ball. That's 6 in a row from Alan Passano. Time to take out the Emery board, I guess. Ball 3. 3-0. 7 straight strikes. Passano cannot find the plate at the moment. Strike 1, 3-1. Bayshore taking all the way on that one. One down. Southwick draws a throw. No advance. And Jerry Davison, the batter.
9 o'clock, Bill. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Jerry. Come on, Jerry.
There's a base hit. Davison 1 for 2. The only thing holding him up was Hawksby ahead of him. He would be on third right now otherwise. Hawksby had to hold up and see what was going to happen, as did Southwick. Southwick scores.
Come on, Danny. Bet they're giving $20 you can't profit over here.
So whoever went in for Laporte is apparently out of the game. Laporte is batting. It's now 12-2. With 1 out, runners at the corners. Excuse me, runners at second and third. Through. That's going to score 2. Davison taking home all the way. That makes it 14-2. And Tracy Bowers coming up for the first time. Apparently when they moved Laporte to the bench, they put him in as the extra player, and nobody went in for him per se. So Laporte is still in the lineup. Bowers, a base hit through the left side. 14-2, 1 out. And Dan Yakey, the batter. Yankee represents the winning run here in a 6-inning game. Barcomb leads by 12, 14-2. 15 runs would do it. On the ground. They go to third, get the lead runner out at third. 2 outs. And Jim Barcomb, the batter. And now Barcomb represents a potential winning run. Pitch from Passano, strike 1.
Well, I'll have an excuse. No, I don't have that.
On the ground, unassisted at third. But she handles it alone, and we go now to the 7th inning with the score 14-2. Barcomb's leading Rite.
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Let's go.
More defensive changes here for Barcombs. They've got Bill Bayshore behind the plate, Tim Gillette in left field, Steve Southwick in left center field, and Jim Barcomb remains in right center field with Tracy Boris in right field. Infield remains the same. I believe this is Alex Desitel, the batter. It's either Desitel or McGinn. Might be Pat McGinn. Strike. Line shot, Jerry Davison grabs. 1 out. And as we bring up Alex Desitel, that was McGinn. 1 out. Strike 1. Lombard rated an excellent defensive ball player. He gets back as soon as he pitches. As soon as the ball's released. Oh, he didn't do it that time. With a 12-run lead here, usually backpedals. He's almost at second base sometimes before the ball is hit. Ball. 2-1. There's a strike. Strike 2. He backpedals faster if he knows it's going to be a strike. On the ground. Back to Lombard. To Yankee. 2 down. And a batter now. Danny Bushy, the shortstop. Rite Plastics down to their final out. They trail 14-2. Opening round playoffs in the Gentlemen's Slow Pitch League. Best 2 of 3 series popped up. Underwood should have it. He does. And that's going to be it for this ball game on this August 12th. The final score here. Barcomb's TV and Furniture 14. Rite Plastics 2.